This is the back of a Grundig 3028 valve radio that I've been restoring recently, and it's worked out quite well. The sound is really beautiful on it. However, one problem that has arisen as a result of fitting the usual Bluetooth module that I like to put into these radios is that it's still creating a kind of a buzzing noise, particularly on medium and long wave. If you look over here, you'll see the module stuffed in at the side while I have the chassis out. And while on FM the problem doesn't arise, certainly on medium wave as you tune up and down the stations, you can get this sort of oscillation, twittering sound, and I realized it was coming from the Bluetooth module. This is the Bluetooth circuit that I use, and this is the module itself sitting up on the back of the board that I worked out and got printed for myself. Over here at the back, the 6.3 volt AC comes in via this fuse and is fed to a bridge rectifier. Voltage comes out at DC around 8 to 9 volts, gets smoothed by a couple of capacitors here with a little LED and series resistor just to show the power supply is actually working. It's fed on then to a regulator, a 7805, so 8 to 9 volts in, 5 volts DC out, and again smoothed by this capacitor. Round the back, if we can see it here, is a little DC to DC isolator fitted behind the regulator. And what this does is takes 5 volts DC in, feeds 5 volts DC out, but completely isolated from the rest of the circuitry, hopefully. And then it's fed on to the actual Bluetooth module itself. You can see the little zigzag aerial at the top here, picking up the Bluetooth. There is a blue LED to show that the Bluetooth is actually working, and a couple of resistors fed from the output to these terminals here, which in turn get wired into the pickup socket on the back of the radio. And this is where the sound gets fed in, and therefore to select Bluetooth option you select the pickup key on the front of the radio. I noticed on this radio that during the pickup selection, on the front, the magic eye actually switched off. And this gave me the idea of using this facility to control the supply to the Bluetooth module. So what I did was take a feed from the magic eye at the HT level, around 230 volts DC, and fed it down here through the coil of a relay. The other side goes straight back to chassis earth. So when the radio is selected and the magic eye is actually on, this HT trips the relay and changes the normally closed contact to open, so that no supply can now get to the Bluetooth. However, when the pickup is selected, this relay switches off, the contact now closes, and the normal 6.3 volt from the AC chain is allowed to come through here, gets switched on, and gets fed over to the Bluetooth module. So let's see how that's going to work. And here's the setup. You can see here where I've taken the AC from the illuminating bulb on the front, 6.3 volt AC, and brought it down through this terminal block here and onto this big cumbersome relay. Now this is the only one I had at home at the moment. We're in lockdown here, so I wasn't able to get a small one. Normally you'd use a much smaller relay. However, this one still only uses about 20 milliamps through the coil when it's being energized. So the switch contacts then go back up here and are fed back through the block on separate terminals and on through here and into the Bluetooth module. So let's see how it works out. I'm going to fit it back in. The chassis is out at the moment to make work a little bit easier to get at things. So I'll fit it back in and mount the relay in here on the floor. It's the only place I could fit it at this stage because it's pretty tight in this cabinet. So let's see what happens. The chassis has now been moved back into the cabinet, ready to try it out. You can see the Bluetooth module has been mounted up on the side of the cabinet as it was before with Velcro, and the wiring has been tidied up and the relay screwed down to the floor of the cabinet. I did mean to mention that the relay, while specified as a 230, 240 volt AC coil, works quite happily on DC. Now you can't use a relay the other way around. If the relay has a DC coil specified for it, you cannot use it on AC, but in this case it works out fine. So now for the moment of truth. Here we are with the final result. The radio switched on. Looks like everything's working. We're on medium wave at the moment.
She's a kind, caring woman, I would say.
Absolutely brilliant. Heard Tim. If you or I mean, is she going to be able to get any?
And as we tune up and down the band on medium wave, no noise whatsoever, because don't forget the Bluetooth has now been disconnected by virtue of the fact that the Magic Eye is on and the relay is tripped. So if we now select the pickup, which will switch on the Bluetooth, watch what happens. I'll turn up the volume. Magic Eye goes off, and you get the nice welcome tone that the Bluetooth module provides. And just to check that, going back onto FM, fantastic. So we have a result. I hope this may be useful to some of you who like fitting Bluetooth modules to your old valve radios and find problems with spurious noises. Now, this isn't going to work out in everyone's case, because you must have a situation whereby the Magic Eye gets switched off during the pickup selection. Some radios don't have this. However, I was lucky in this case that this one provided me the opportunity to get a good fix. Thank you for watching.